What's up, and welcome to Caleb Smith TV. This is your friend Caleb Smith bringing you a brand new live stream. Today we are going to be playing some Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity, going over the latest updates, because last week I actually had small complaints about some general things pertaining to the game, and one of those things might have had something to do with sort of the consistency of updates, the consistency of adding new gameplay to this brand new Infinity game, this Adventure Quest Worlds remake. We need plenty of updates coming out. One of the big things to do with Adventure Quest Worlds was that every week there would be a new update, pretty much like a new storyline with new items to sort of farm for, grind for, just get lucky from killing monsters and having the items drop from the monsters and stuff like that. And there's always something new, like every week, right? That's the whole point of the original Adventure Quest Worlds, is that the game is being built under your feet while you play it, under your character's feet while you play the game. And that's actually one of the big driving points for Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity here, is that every week there's supposed to be brand new updates, brand new quests, brand new storylines, brand new characters, brand new items to enhance your character with and customize your character with. And last week, I think I streamed Friday. Yes, I ended up streaming on Friday last week. I did not stream yesterday. Yesterday was Friday. For this week, usually I stream every Friday. The problem was there just isn't really much content being brought to Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity at the moment in order for me to feel like I actually have some noteworthy content to stream to you guys. You know, unless there's some quest lines or some items to grind for, pretty much is if there's new things to do, then I find that as some good content to stream to you guys. However, if there is just not really anything new going on for the week, except for maybe just a little bit of talking, a little bit of sort of like coding updates, I guess, non-visual updates, just very basic stuff, kind of like what we're dealing with this week, then I don't really seem to think that that's great content to stream. But it is still very important. The health of this game is very important to me, and anything going on with this game is very important to me. And so I would like to present to you guys the latest updates that's going on right now on Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity. I believe that there have been 4 update posts since I last streamed to you guys. Now, an entire 4 updates to the game since I've streamed, that's actually a long time. I said every time they update, I want to stream that update to you guys, right? Well, like I said, these latest 4 updates are actually what I would call lackluster, meaning that there's not a lot going on with these updates. And because of that, there's actually not very many people playing the game currently. There's not a lot of people online. The players that log in and do everything that the game has to offer every week, those players are not currently playing the game this weekend because there's not actually anything going on. And so like I said, I want to present these updates to you guys right here. We're going to do that by going to the Discord. I don't know why it stops the music. Whenever I leave the game, I would like the music to continue. Why does the music not persist? Okay. Maybe it'll come back while I'm reading the update. Who knows? Yep, there it is. Alright. So the very last update that we all went over. Oh yeah, by the way, how do you guys like the new stream setup? How do you guys like my new visual setup here? What's up, Danny? Welcome to the stream. Everyone is playing the new AQ Worlds content. An AQ Worlds update just dropped 15 minutes ago. Well, if everybody's busy on Adventure Quest Worlds, then like I said, that's not. I went even though this is just an alpha test. I guess it's not really supposed to matter. Why does the music stop? Um, Even though it's an alpha test, it's not even the full release of the game. So I guess you could say the current health of the game doesn't really matter, but to me it does, and I really feel like it should matter to everyone else that has any care in the world for this game as well, because even though the game's in alpha right now and it's not fully accessible to everybody, once the game does come out and it is fully accessible to everybody, then we need good stuff happening. We need the past of the game to be good. We need everything up until the point of the release to be very good for the game, so that then new players will actually want to play the game, because the old players that have played the alpha will actually have more chance at recommending the game to new players if everything has been good up until that point. And then all of the internet and media content produced on the game is going to be positive for the health of the game, which because the new players will see the media that is being produced on this game, such as this live stream that I'm currently making right now, and they will see that it's positive. Positive things are going on with the game. There are new updates coming out. There are new quest lines. There are constantly new storylines coming out and new items coming out, and that is a good reason to go ahead and start playing the game, because even though all these other updates came out, there's a bunch of new updates that are coming out every week. So it's kind of like, you just jump right into it and you're instantly caught up, because something new is coming out that everybody's going to be excited for, and even the new players can be right there for that event. This is all sort of like obvious stuff that I'm talking about, especially for veteran players of Adventure Quest Worlds. But I feel like it's very important pertaining to Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity being a complete remake of Adventure Quest Worlds. And so we need to treat Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity as a complete separate game from Adventure Quest Worlds. And so to me, even though Adventure Quest Worlds is made by the same people as Infinity, if Adventure Quest Worlds is still highly successful and more people are willing to play Adventure Quest Worlds than they are willing to play Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity, that is very bad for Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity. In my opinion, in my honest opinion, I think that's very bad for the health of Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity if everybody is more likely to continue playing the older game and to just continue playing that game instead of feeling like they should spend their time on Infinity instead. That seems very obvious to me, but also it could be an opinionated kind of a thing there. Is opinionated a word? Anyway, that could be an opinion. Simply because maybe from some people's perspective, if Adventure Quest Worlds, the original game, is doing very good and it is still very healthy and it has many, many, many active players on it, then that has to also be good for Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity being sort of the sister game, or even the daughter game to Adventure Quest Worlds. Because if Adventure Quest Worlds is healthy, then by continuation, Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity must be healthy as well. Now, my only problem and opinion with that is that, just because a mother is doing great doesn't mean that the mother is going to take great care of her child. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? Just because Adventure Quest Worlds is awesome, it doesn't mean... And everybody wants to play Adventure Quest Worlds still, which is great. I think that's awesome. I think I don't want Adventure Quest Worlds to lose any players, but I do want Infinity to gain new players. I don't want Adventure Quest Worlds to lose any of their players, but I do want Infinity to gain new players. And like I said, the way that we need to make this happen is through the weekly updates, real updates, adding real maps, real quest lines, and real items to grind for. Okay, so now that I've said that, we're going to go look at these past 4 updates. and we're gonna see if it kind of goes along with what I'm saying. We're gonna see if they added any new maps, any new storylines, any new quests, any new items for us to grind for. And I'm really hoping they did, but part of me feels like they did not, and that's why there are not a lot of players online. Opinionated is a word. It's just such a funny word. I like the new little simple setup. Okay, cool. I'm glad you like it. The chat is actually popping up on the screen, right? Let me test that real quick. I'm going to throw a little hi out there. I'm going to try to make sure the chat... So, I updated the visual chat on the screen as well. So, I'm going to have to see how that is. It pops up, but it is so tiny that you guys can probably barely see it right now, especially on the Discord, with Discord on the screen. So, don't worry about that. But let's go ahead and check it out, guys. Let's go ahead and check it out. Yeah, I can't worry about fixing the chat right now. But I think it's going to be okay. I think the chat's going to be fine once we move off the screen. So here, like I said, here's where we left off last time. We completely went over this Kickstarter update post on one of the last streams I did. And they didn't really add anything after that until they added this update right here. Our 244th build is dropping on Adventure Quest 2D. Now that actually sounds really cool, and this picture looks really cool with these crazy effects. This picture is obviously displaying the crazy effects that are going to be happening with certain classes and skills and things like that on screen here, looking completely different. Actually, the effects are looking completely different than they usually would on Adventure Quest Worlds, which is really cool. And we can see that's actually Nolgath right there doing some testing, looking really cool. But anyway, this was one of the most recent updates that we have not gone over. This is the first update that we have not yet gone over. So I'm going to go ahead and launch up the website from the link here, and we're gonna see just what this update actually entails with our 244th build is dropping. Now 244 sounds crazy, I guess. It's been updated. Adventure Quest Infinity has been updated by the Infinity team a total of 244 times, and that's why this is the 244th build. Now that is actually pretty cool. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty insane. The new class showcase. Okay. A new class showcase is probably pretty important to somebody like me who loves classes. So here we go. We're going to go over this update. Okay, we might be getting a little out of control with these particle effects. On second thought, maybe we should add more. Newest update version 0.244 includes in-game character customization. Okay, this is really good. I don't know exactly when this update is coming out because it says that it's dropping, but it hasn't said when it has dropped. I don't see when it has dropped, so that's a little worrisome because I'm like, has the update came out yet? Or are y'all just mentioning what the update is going to include so that we're all very excited about it? But that's the reason we haven't gotten much of an update since last week, is because y'all are still working on this version 0.244. Because if that's what's happening, I can be actually lenient about that. I can actually look past the fact that we haven't gotten any real, what I would call real updates in a while. I can actually look past that fact if we're getting a complete new build very soon. It's got to be very soon. It can't be like weeks out. It can't be months out. It needs to be pretty soon, I think, for us players to be actually excited and happy about this. And, you know, maybe that's a little bit of impatience talking. But I think I speak for everybody when I say that, you know, us gamers, we're a little impatient sometimes. We get a little impatient, especially whenever a game developer says that their game's going to be updated every week, and that's the part of the game we should be super excited about, we're going to be expecting that weekly update. Now that you've said that that's the whole point of the game and that's what the game is going to be, us players of the game are going to be expecting that weekly update. And if the weekly update doesn't come around, then we will be getting impatient. I think that that's just a natural cycle right there that I'm speaking of. And so I'm just bringing that up so that maybe, just maybe, Artix Entertainment will have some foresight there and sort of, you know, do what they will with that information. But yes, in-game character customization, super exciting. Super exciting. I cannot wait. I've definitely been wanting to be able to customize my character inside of the actual Infinity game instead of having to go to Adventure Quest Worlds to do that. FPS selection in options. VSync must be off. Now, that's cool. I guess I'm not really concerned about that. You know, messing with frame rates is important for a lot of games. It's never been important for Adventure Quest Worlds. I think that we can all sort of agree on that. Would have been nice back in the day, but at this point in time, I think that that is just not even really something that we're interested in. But for this new game, Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity, I think that it is important, especially so early on, to have this sort of frames per second selection so that people with certain laptop builds or PC builds or whatever they're running in order to play this game, people can have different options, different visual settings options to sort of best fit whatever hardware they're using. I think that's actually pretty good. Your name can now properly appear in quest text. Okay, this is actually something that I noticed on stream, is that while speaking to an NPC that is giving you a quest, sometimes it'll just say, "Hello, player name," instead of actually saying the name of your player, which in the original Adventure Quest Worlds was actually something cool, is that whenever you talk to an NPC, it's like the NPC would directly talk to you as the player by using your character name that you gave to your character. The NPCs will actually call you that name and stuff like that. Really makes you feel like your character is a part of the world, and like the NPCs really are talking directly to you, which I think is very important. I think that's very cool, and I think that that's a small detail that not a lot of people would think about at all. I think maybe not a lot of people at all even care or would think about a detail like this because it's so small of a detail, but especially because a lot of people don't even read the quest text, to be honest. I'm a person that reads the quest text, and so this affects me. I think this is great. I love it whenever the NPCs actually, they're talking to me and they say my name, so that it makes me feel like they're talking directly to me. And as a player, I think that's really cool. APOPs now support music and sound effects. I have no idea what APOPs is. I'm sure that this is a really good thing, a really good part of this update. APOPs now support music SFX. I just don't know what APOPs are. So yeah, if anybody knows what that is, feel free to let me know. I am interested. Load into Yolgar and give us that sweet, succulent Yolgar music. I heard Infinity is doing an event today. Is that true? To be honest, so I'm currently going over the updates right now. I have 4 updates to go over. And we've gotten 2 update posts just today from Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity. So very possibly, yes, there will be some kind of event going on today. If you continue, if you allow us to continue and you stick around for the stream, then maybe you'll get a direct answer, an official answer here from Caleb Smith TV as we're going through these updates. I appreciate you tuning in, Jaden. Oh yeah, go to Yolgar, right? Let's pull up to Yolgar real quick. Oh yeah, Yolgar does have music. Okay, cool. Alright, so apparently a gem bug has been fixed. Sorry, I should have been highlighting exactly like what I'm going over, what I'm reading. Apparently a gem bug has been fixed. I actually have no idea what kind of bug was going on with the gyms. I never noticed it, and so I have no idea. A 0 HP bug has been fixed. Now, this is something that I think I've been affected by. I think I actually have been affected by the 0 HP bug on stream before. It's pretty much a bug where, like, I think it happens on Mage specifically. It didn't really happen to me on any other class except for Mage, where pretty much on Mage, I would die. I would be sent to 0 HP, and my character is... Whenever you're sent to 0 HP, your character is supposed to die. And that's pretty much what would happen. I would go to 0 HP, my character would die inside the coding, but visually my character would not be dead, and I would still be able to move around and go to different rooms and still travel around and stuff, even though my character is completely dead. I can't even use abilities at that point. And that was a bug that happened several times here on the stream. And I guess they finally managed to fix it. Like I said, I thought it was a class-specific bug because it only happened on Mage. But I guess not. I guess it was a little bit of a wider bug than that. Maybe it's just because Mage is so bad, I would die on it so much that I would experience the bug more than any other class. By the way, please buff Mage if you haven't already. If we have not already buffed Mage, I would like to beg, just like I do on almost every stream at this point, I would like to beg the Class Council of Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity to buff Mage. That kind of, please take a look at Mage, compare it to Healer, and just please consider buffing it. Anyway, let's continue. Save Maya quest no longer glitches on Frog Zerd count. This is something that I did not have to experience. I don't know what kind of bug that is, but I'm very glad that they fixed it for anybody that did have to experience that. New account creation bug fixed. Also, something that I did not have to experience, but if I had to guess, I'm going to guess that whenever somebody would try to make a brand new account on Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity, in order to use that account with their alpha access, I'm going to guess that it didn't allow that. I'm going to guess there was a common bug that made it where their new account would be bugged, or creating the new account was just buggy. Luckily, I didn't have to deal with that, but for all of you that did, it looks like they have fixed that. So, great news. Apparently, Grotto progression has been fixed. I think what that is there was a bug, I actually experienced this bug myself, where I would be in the grotto, and I would be fighting stuff in the grotto. Now, the grotto has this little mechanic where it sort of has an outside of the cave and then an inside of the cave. And you're not allowed to go inside the cave until you kill like 14 monsters outside the cave. So you're not allowed to go inside until you kill 14 monsters, right? Well, I was having this huge issue where I would kill like 20 monsters outside of the cave, and then I would try to go inside the cave, and it would still tell me, it would say, you need to kill 14 monsters, and I'd say, well, I've killed like 30 at this point. And then I'd go, and then I'd kill another 10 monsters, and then I'd go try to go inside the cave, and it'd still tell me, you're not allowed to go in the cave, you gotta kill 14 monsters. And I'm like, there's no way that I have not killed 14 monsters. I'm pretty sure I've killed 30. And so, yes, I believe that this was actually an issue, like a real issue, and they actually fixed it. So that is awesome. I'm really glad that they're actually fixing these bugs. I mean, the fact that they have managed to fix quite a few of the bugs that we have found just here on the stream is actually very cool. It actually gives me a lot more faith in the AE team and their willingness to solve these bugs, the especially common ones and game-breaking ones, before doing anything else. I can actually respect that and admire that, and makes me pretty happy, actually. I was coming in to today's stream, looking at all these updates. I was coming in already thinking that I was going to have a lot of complaints. Already coming in thinking that I was going to have a lot of stuff that I was unhappy about. But actually, seeing that these small changes are being fixed, these things that actually are important, they're being fixed before they move on and add even more stuff. I think that actually gives me a lot of faith in the future of the game, which is really cool. Merge shops no longer ask for all your money the second time you use them. Okay, I actually haven't used the merge. Actually, I did use the Dragon Slayer merge shop in /lair, and I never dealt with this. Merge shop ask for all your money second time you use them. Then again, maybe I never tried to use the merge shop twice. Maybe I only used it like one time, and then that's all I needed. I grinded all of my Dragon Slayer tokens, or Dragon Scales, I guess. I grinded all of those out, and then I went to Galanoth's Dragon Slayer merge shop, and I used all of the tokens at the same, all of the scales at the same time, and literally got every item in that shop at the exact same time. So maybe I didn't have to deal with a problem that other people had to deal with whenever they were trying to use the merge shops. Luckily, that problem seems to be fixed, based on what Artix Entertainment says here as the final part of this 244th build. Now, that's the 244th build. Like I said, a little lackluster, guys. We get some bug fixes. We get some new features, it looks like. We're getting bug fixes, a couple of new features. And other than that, that's really it for our 244th build. Now, that's what I mean whenever I have small complaints about these updates being a little bit lackluster, and that's because there is some new stuff, but it's honestly stuff that I feel like should be part of the game anyway. So I get it. Artix Entertainment, because it's supposed to be part of the game anyway, they're adding it. I just feel like this is stuff that should have probably already been there, and that us Kickstarter backers that are testing the alpha should have other stuff instead. Now, this is just an opinion. I'm not trying to complain too much in this regard, especially because my favorite part of this entire 244th build update has to be the in-game character customization that we're going to be getting soon. And just based on that alone, I can't really harp on this update too much. So let's go ahead and check out today's second update. This is an update. That last update that we just read came out on the 23rd, so it came out 3 days ago. This next update that we're going to be going over came out 2 days ago on the 24th. The Son of a Lich on Adventure Quest 2D. That's actually a crazy title there. Son of a Lich. So we're going to go ahead and open this up as well and go over and see what this is, because I'm actually interested. I think liches are really cool. So adding them to Adventure Quest Infinity actually might be cool, as like sort of like a storyline to go over, maybe. Like the storyline of the Lich. Something big for us to work towards, you know? We could really spread this out over the course of a month or two. Just constantly adding storylines where the Lich is causing problems around Babylon, and the hero, and Artix, and Warlick, and Cicero, and everybody, Rawlith, everybody, just the entire gang is sort of working together to figure out information about what's causing this torment around Babylon, and it turns out it's the Lich. And over the course of a month, we can sort of get to the point where we finally, we're trying to stop the Lich's evil plans, and then we finally get to the Lich's lair, and we have to fight the Lich with everybody, because the Lich is so strong that we just need every player that we can get to help fight the Lich. And it just makes for an awesome boss fight that has been built up to, up until that point. I think that would be really cool. I really hope that that's what's going on here. But I have no idea, so we're just going to have to read this update and sort of hope. It's a small little update here. There's barely anything going on, so that takes away a little bit of my faith, hurts my faith a little bit in this whole awesome Lich boss fight update that I'm talking about. But, let's just see what Artix has to say about it. Son of a Lich. Scratch that. The story says this Lich is a brother. Of course he is! Or maybe this is the monster the Lich brother summoned. Undead family trees are such a hassle, mostly because they move and grab you with their little grabby branches. Undead family trees. And then we have version A, who seems to be, standing on the ground. And we have version B, who is a little more floaty. And their sort of robes, the garments that are covering up their legs, the Lich's legs are sort of spread out, showing the Lich doesn't really have legs and it's floating. And honestly, I guess the B version, who doesn't like floating Liches? It really shows off that he's magical and super undead. And I really like the sharpness of the way that the garments sort of spread out like that. I like the sharpness. They almost look like spikes. Really gives them an evil sort of a look. So I'm definitely going to have to vote for version B here. It looks like that seems to be the popular opinion anyway. As you can see here in the Artix Entertainment Discord, you can actually use these emojis to sort of vote, I guess. They don't say anything about voting. It literally says nothing about voting for which one you like more, but I guess people are just doing it by clicking B and voting for the B version. So I'm going to do that as well. I like version B. I'm going to do that. And like I said, guys, that's it. That's the Lich. That's what we get about the Lich. We get some art, which, I think the art is really cool. That means that there's probably Lich art inside of the game right now that they're working on. They probably already have animations for it, and they're coming up with this Lich character. I'm a storyline guy. I like quests and things like that. And so I'm personally hoping that what they're going to do with Liches are very strong. Liches are very strong. They're not your average necromancer. Usually Liches are they are in charge of almost everything undead in certain regions. Like a Lich of Battleon, which is pretty much what we're looking at right now. I'm supposing this is going to be the Lich of Battleon. This thing is going to be it's going to be in charge of a lot starting out. Like an early game Lich is usually, like I said, it's this grand boss fight. The Lich is in charge of probably an undead army and probably has lesser level necromancers under him as well. Lesser necromancers under the Lich, and which makes the Lich very strong because necromancers by themselves are already pretty strong. And so a Lich that it would be in charge of an entire undead army, and then plus pretty much like a small squadron of necromancers. Very powerful character. Very, very powerful character. And I feel like something like this needs to be built up over time. It shouldn't be something that's just kind of thrown at us, and then all of us players get it done in like a week. Or even a day. It shouldn't be a thing where all of us players, the update comes out, and then all of us players just do the quest line in one day, we defeat the Lich, and then it's over. That's the story of the Lich. No, something powerful like a Lich should be completely set up over the course of several updates. This is my opinion. This is something I would like to see. I really hope that's the direction that we're going for it. No guarantee on that because, we're not getting a lot of information on this Lich. But, hey, we have a Lich. I think that's cool. I can't wait. Obviously, I'm very passionate about it, and I'm super excited. And so, I hope that it's done properly. I hope that the Lich is done properly. Air it out completely, too. What in the world? What are you talking about, airing out? Okay, we have a post. We have another post. 83 custom backer designer forms on Adventure Quest 2D. Okay, this is interesting. Let's open it up. 83 custom backer designer forms. Exciting. Okay, this must be a custom backer update for the backers that actually get to make custom items and things like that. Because of their backer tier. I think that this is actually really cool. Mildly exciting, being able to see custom items built by the players themselves. It's sort of reminiscent of the suggestion shop from Yulgar, from the original Adventure Quest Worlds game, the suggestion shop was one of the best shops in the game for such a long time. The suggestion shop just had so much in it, between member-only items, AC-only items, and then straight-up non-member, non-AC, completely free-to-play items. Lots of them were in the suggestion shop. And the way the suggestion shop worked is that pretty much players had like I guess there was some kind of forum or something out there that players can use in order to suggest items. They could suggest certain items that they would like to see in the game to the Adventure Quest Worlds team. And if they were lucky, the Adventure Quest Worlds team would actually put that item into the game and then give them credit. They would give them credit for that item as well, which is just really cool. Now, this is almost the exact same thing that we're seeing here with the custom backers, as people that founded the game and they backed a very high level tier in order to be able to make their own custom items and get credited for those items within Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity, which is kind of insane. And like I said, the reason it's kind of exciting is because if this works anything like the suggestion shop, then we might actually be getting some really cool player-made items that are actually going to be sought after by other players, by all players, just because of how cool they look. You know, made by the players for the players is kind of the idea here. Really cool. Exciting! A lot of work went into the designer docs for our Kickstarter's custom backers. These are the forms that will allow custom backers to build their items alongside the team. Each designer doc is tailored to each individual backer. We went through quite a few revisions to get the docs approved by the game team and player support. Happy to share that just a few moments ago, I just sent each of the 83 current custom backers a private message through Kickstarter with a link to their personal designer doc. Do not share. This should also be very good news for benevolent founders who are eager to claim a custom item of their own. Once the current backers have their items, we will begin opening an additional slot, benevolent tier players. Opening up additional slots to benevolent tier players. They are all considered on the waiting list and will have the opportunity to upgrade to a custom backer tier if they wish. In the continuation of open and transparent expectation setting, this first phase is going to be long. There's going to be a lot of hurry up and wait as the backers begin working with the team and artists begin to be assigned. I do look forward to seeing the amazing items that are created. We have a custom weapon sign here for whatever reason. I guess it's... What is this? Did somebody make this? I'm guessing Artix made this. Somebody made this. One of the artists for Infinity must have made this sign just as a little placeholder for those that are actually designing their own custom weapons, which is kind of funny, kind of interesting. One weapon choice, if you were to make one, what would it be? If I was to make a weapon, what would it be? Dang, does it have to be a weapon? That's the thing, is that, like, I guess a weapon is good. Guys, I just don't know. You know me, I'd rather be able to make a class. I'd rather be able to make an entire class instead of just a weapon. Is that greedy of me? Is that asking for too much? I mean, I'm supposed to be designing a weapon right now, right? The thing is that I would design a weapon for the class that I want, right? A class that I would want to see, I would just design the weapon for that class, which I feel like brings down the chances of the class actually being made, because we already have a weapon. You know, I already made a custom weapon pertaining to that class. Why don't we do something new instead? Why actually make the class? It has a weapon. Make something new instead. So basically, if I could make any item in the game, currently, like what I would currently make, if I could make any equipable item in the game, I know that's not the question. I'm going to answer your question, but first, I want to give an answer to something else first. I want to tell you guys something else. If I could make any item in the game, weapon, armor, helmet, cape, or even a class, I would definitely choose class. I love classes. I just really love classes. I would definitely choose class. And if I could make a class, I would make Legion Dragon Lord. I would make Legion Dragon Lord, okay? And I would get Dage the Evil to draw it, because obviously. And that's pretty much it. I don't even know what the class, I haven't even thought of what the class skills would be, but obviously you would do something with an undead dragon. Your dragon would be undead as a dragon lord of the Legion, of the undead Legion. So I would make Legion Dragon Lord. And now to answer your question, what one weapon would I make for the game? I would make a Legion Dragon Lord sword to go with the Legion Dragon Lord class. You see why I had to do the other thing before I did your thing? I had to make the class before I could make the weapon. If the weapon came first, it would just be like, Legion Dragon Lord weapon. There's not even a Legion Dragon Lord. So that's why I had to come up with a Legion Dragon Lord thing first. And so, yeah, I would make like a Legion Dragon Lord sword, I guess. After, there's actually a Legion Dragon Lord class for it to go with, to match, And I would not want the Legion Dragon Lord to be an armor. I would want it to be a class, for sure. I'd want it to be a class so we could do the summoning undead dragons thing. I think that would be sick. It could be anything. Yeah, I guess it would just be a single-handed sword. A single-handed Legion-themed Dragon Lord sword. Which, I don't even know what a Dragon Lord sword looks like. I mean, I guess I could try to look it up. Dragon Lord sword. I'll just type in R6 in there so we know what kind of games I'm looking for. Oh, they do have the Dragon Lord Blade. They have the Dragon Lord Blade. I completely... Ooh, okay, look. This is actually one of my favorite weapons. Vaths. Okay, you see the Sterling Dragon Lord Master Blade right here? That's kind of exactly like Chaos Lord Vath's weapon. So if I look up Vath Sword, AQ Worlds, the legendary sword, look at this, okay? Look at how cool Vath... First of all, look at how cool Vath just looks by himself. And then check out the sword. Check out his sword. Here, let's just check out this one. Check out his sword specifically, right? Can I please just... Okay. Open image and new tab. There we go. So, check out this guy's sword, right? It's very, very similar to the Sterling. It's because this is sort of like a K-erupted version, I guess, of the Sterling Dragon Lord Master Blade, right? I would take this weapon and make it Undead Legion themed. I would make it Underworld themed or Dage the Evil themed. All of those. I would make it that. And that would be the weapon. I would make this blue. Okay, let's look at Vath again. So you see how Vath, his sword, is sort of pink, like the purple, the hilt, and I don't know what you call it, but where the hilt connects to the blade, all that is like dark, chaotic purple, and then the blade itself is like this nice, bright pink color, which just looks so good. I love that shade of pink, the shininess to it. I don't know why. It's just so nostalgic to me because of the Chaos Lord thing, and I just think this looks so good. I think this blade looks so good. Now, what I would do with it for the Underworld version is I would turn this pink into sort of a light blue. See if I can get anything in comparison. Dage Underworld Blade. I don't even know. I'm just looking for literally anything to compare it to. Okay, here we go. We can try comparing it to this. Open image and new tab. Okay. So we can compare it to this, right? So I would turn the pink here on this Dragon Lord Blade into this light blue color right there. You see how they're almost like... They're completely different colors, but they're almost the same shade, if you know what I mean. Like this shade of blue is just immaculate, and I think the same for this shade of pink right here. So what I would do is I would replace the shade of pink with that shade of blue, and then I would replace the dark purple on this blade with I would replace all of this dark purple with like black and gray, like the hilt of this blade right here. How you can see it, the underworld theme, it's black, and it's sort of like this metallic shiny black where you can see all of the accents and everything without the black being so dark that you can't actually see the details. You can actually see all the accents and the shading and everything. We would apply the same to this purple blade, or this purple hilt, I mean. We would apply the same. So this would be black, and then all the shiny parts would be like silvery, sort of gray, where light shines off the black. And then we would add, you see the dragon's red eye right there, the dragon on the blade. You see its red eye? We would turn that blue. We would turn that blue, just like on this blade. Sort of maybe the blue eyes of the skull. The blue eyes on the skull of this blade. We would take those blue eyes and make that blue. We would put that blue on the red eyes of this dragon on this blade, and then that would pretty much be complete. That's really all I would do, I guess. Except for, I guess this blade is very highly K-erupted, which does not really go along with the Dage theme. So, like, this sort of tentacle look, where it looks like the dragon's tail is sort of wrapping itself around the blade. This actually isn't... Well, actually, it is included in this version. It is included in this version. I would probably just do something with the way that the tentacles, not the tentacle, but the way that the tail of the dragon is wrapping itself around the blade, like tentacles, or tendrils, if you will. I would try to replace that little aspect with more of like a badass, sort of like sharpened tail aspect, like sharpened bladed dragon tail aspect. I would make it more sharp. Instead of looking like tendrils, I would make it look more like the blade, like the dragon's tail is a blade that is still a tail and able to move, and it's wrapping itself around the blade. And I would try to add skulls wherever I could. I would try to add skulls to the blade wherever I could, whether I have to make the dragon on the blade undead, or whether maybe I need to replace the way the dragon's wrapping its tail. Maybe I just add some skulls right there, sort of going down the back of the blade. Maybe that would be cool too. And I would just make it all black and blue, completely Legion themed, using this color scheme right here. And yes, so basically I would use this blade right here, just turn it Legion themed, and that would probably be my personal customized weapon. And obviously I am not an artist of that nature, so I would need Dage the Evil probably to draw that for me. I think that would be really cool if Dage the Evil actually drew something I suggested. I'd make a pet that is just a tiny version of me, like as chibi head, and then I'd say make it non-member and free for everyone to get, and basically whatever I wear, it would update to that attire. Okay, that sounds kind of cool. Thus allowing me to dress up as funny stuff anytime I want, and seeing people be like, what in the world is that pet? I'd say free for 1 year and then rare after that. Huh. Well, that's actually pretty cool. That's a really funny idea. A pet that just automatically updates to be a small version of whatever you look like at the time. I think that's actually a pretty decent idea, pretty cool idea, unique, never been done before. The way that I'd probably obtain my item is through a quest line. It would be some kind of Legion quest line where you have to go sort of do something with some dragons. Maybe you have to help some kind of like black dragon or something, but then the black dragon ends up dying, so you have to use your Legion powers to resurrect the dragon, and then from that point the undead dragon then swears its fealty to you, and by extension it swears its fealty to Dage the Evil and the Undead Legion, because you're a part of the Undead Legion. So I think like some kind of quest line like that would absolutely cook for the Legion Dragon Lord set. I think that would be awesome. The Legion Dragon Lord set that I'm making up. And I would make that quest line just pretty much available all the time. so that people can like it would be a long quest line. I'm not gonna lie, I would make it a very long quest line. But once you complete it, you get the Legion Dragon Lord class, and I'd make sure that the class is, decent, just like any other class that I would make. I'd make sure that it's balanced accordingly to whatever the class economy is sort of like at that time. If AQ Infinity has nothing really to admire in the game, then I suggest in AQ Worlds, join Infernal Arena and attempt to beat those bosses. It's a challenge that requires multiple classes. Your call. I'm definitely not doing that. This is going to be a sort of a shorter stream. This stream is going longer than I actually intended it to already. Like, I honestly thought this stream was going to be like a 30-minute stream of just me talking about these latest updates. Like, I guess we're already 3/4 of the way through this stream. If not, we're probably getting close to the end of the stream. But yeah, I didn't really intend to do too much today. I mean, I am logged in. If this stream was too short, if this stream was super short, then I was going to do a little bit of gym grinding probably while I sit here and talk to you guys. But yes, this stream is probably gonna. I was expecting this to be like a 30-minute stream. We've been going for about 50 minutes now, so sadly, probably will not be logging in to Adventure Quest Worlds today. But that is a pretty cool suggestion. That is a cool suggestion. Yo, how's it going, man? What's up, Cha AQ Worlds? Welcome in. Welcome in. Hope you're having an excellent day. We are going over the latest updates for Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity at the moment. We are on the very last one. This is today's latest update. It came out literally 5 hours ago. Or I don't know. I say it came out. It was posted 5 hours ago. I'm not sure if they actually updated the game yet or not. Or if they're just talking about future updates. Talking to an NPC from a controller. Okay, so this is probably going to be a controller update, which, by the way, they did say that they're going to be making the game playable with controllers so that you can just use your Steam Deck for one, or you can like hook in some kind of controller, like an Xbox controller, for example, to your PC, and then play the game using that controller, which I think is pretty cool. It seems like maybe it's an unneeded thing, but they're doing it for the people that want it, and I think that that is like actually really cool for them to do that. For them to do something just because certain people out there might want it, I think is actually, that's a good thing. Well, I'm checking. Okay. Sorry, I was getting a bit of a Discord notification. Had to make sure it wasn't anything too important. Talking to an NPC from a controller. This is so awesome. If you were wondering, how will I be able to talk to an NPC when using a controller? Then check this out. The game will automatically target the closest NPC to you. You can see their message bubbles highlighting as I walk past them. Ooh, I do see it. Then press E on your keyboard or the interact button on your gamepad to talk to the NPC. We have been overhauling the entire UI for better controller support. This will make the game better on mobile, Steam Deck, and, possibly in the future, consoles. Ooh, console gameplay. Console gameplay from Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity. That does explain why they would actually be interested in making controller support. It's not only for people that just want to use controllers, it's for people that want to use complete consoles. Complete and total consoles to play the game with. Which I think is actually very interesting. Being able to play Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity on my PlayStation sounds like a pretty cool thing. Something that I would be interested in doing. But that's it. Okay, so if that's an update, if apparently the NPCs highlight themselves whenever I walk in front of them, I wonder if that's going on right now. I'm going to go to the town of Babylon, and I'm going to try to walk in front. I'm going to use WASD. I'm going to try to walk in front. Okay, not much is happening. I will say there seem to be more NPCs hanging out around here, unless I'm mistaken. But yes, so that part of the update's not out. They're just working on it. Being able to stand in front of an NPC and then interact with them by pressing E or whatever the interact button might be for you. That's an update that's coming out, but it's not out yet. So I just wanted to check that out real quick just to see if that was a thing. But not yet. I didn't figure. And then that is it. That's the latest update. So these are all of the updates that we've gotten since our very last stream that we did. And, you know, I must say it's a little lackluster. It's still exciting. There's a lot of exciting things going on with this update. However, or with these updates, there's exciting things going on with these updates. There's multiple updates, it seems. Very exciting stuff going on. But there's nothing actually new to do in the game itself. At least not from what I can tell, I guess. There's nothing new. However, if I am missing something, I should be able to figure it out pretty quickly by chatting around in the Discord. I'll be chatting around in the Infinity Discord, the Artix Entertainment Discord, and whatnot, trying to figure out, hey, is there anything actually new for me to do in the game since last week? Because I heard that they were going to be adding some stuff, but it's all kind of like, you know, I wouldn't say it's under wraps, because we all know about the stuff that's supposed to be coming. It's just, is it coming? Is it out yet? And did they just not mention it? Or are we just waiting? So, I'll let you guys know at some point. I will definitely let you guys know and do another stream. But if there's nothing going on except for what I just went over with you guys, then all we can do is really wait. And then I'll stream to you guys again to you know, show off the update and go over that content with you guys and play with you guys and enjoy it. I think that'd be really cool, and I'm really excited. You know, I just hate that it's been about a week and a half since we've last done that, or at least it's been about a week since we've last done that, and I'm just kind of, like I said, I guess I'm just a little impatient. Yeah, it's only been a week since I last streamed to you guys, went over stuff, so maybe I should learn the virtue of patience. Take this as a chance to practice patience, practice the virtue of patience, and we're just gonna wait and see when the next update is, because we know that they're gonna do some very cool stuff. We know that they're working on some very cool stuff, a lot of very cool features that need to be added to the game ASAP, and they are working to do that. But we also want to see actual gameplay and actual playable content being added to the game, new quests, new storylines, new items to grind for, stuff like that, so that us players actually have something to do, and so that we actually have a game to play. Because until then, you know, I'll show you guys the servers. Yes, there's 25 people online currently. That's not a lot of people, guys, and the reason is because we're all waiting on updates. We are all waiting on updates, so go back to Battle On. I was enjoying that music. Okay, I guess I gotta walk through here first. So, yes, this seems to be it today. This is pretty much it. Whenever they come out with a new actual playable update, I will be doing that for you guys. Until then, we're just gonna be waiting. Hopefully, Artix Entertainment and the AQ Infinity team does not take too long to give us some playable content. I know a lot of us players are getting a little antsy, and the health of the servers here on Infinity is kind of declining because of that. But as soon as they add an update, that'll all change. Everybody will hop right back online to be taking part in that. So, super exciting. Can't wait. I hope it's not too long. Until then, guys, I'm going to go ahead and bring this stream to an end because I am hungry. I need to go eat something. That's why I wasn't too interested in logging into Adventure Quest Worlds for this stream, Danny, because I got to go eat something. Like I said, the stream's already been going longer than I honestly expected it to. I knew that we weren't really going to be playing the game. We were just mostly going to be going over some updates and what's being talked about in the AQ Infinity Updates channel. So I was expecting it to maybe take like 30 minutes. It took a little longer because, you know, talking a lot. I get very passionate about these things. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Thank you, Danny, for tuning in. As always, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Cha, AQ Worlds. You're a real one. I appreciate you for showing up. And Jaden5641, we appreciate you for showing up. I really appreciate y'all's viewership. And if anybody is interested in more Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity, AQ3D, Artix Entertainment content in general, then please make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you like today's live stream, go ahead and hit that like button for me. That would mean a lot. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream right now. Until next time, guys, this has been your friend Caleb Smith, signing